Welcome to day 4 of Mindful Mobility. We're going to get into the ankles today. And I will recommend you either have like a kitchen chair, something right beside you, or a wall. Chair is going to work better. If you have a pole of some sort, that will work best. Or you can have a partner, so you might need to hold someone's hand as you come down. This is a tricky one, so I want you to have a bit of confidence coming into this. Know that it is a journey. Know that you might find restriction, you might have difficulty with balance, but the more that we work with it, the better it gets. And we'll start as we do. Take your hands together at your heart. We'll just take a nice long inhale breath through your nose. And then an exhale breath out of your mouth. Blink the eyes open, step into the middle of your mat or into the middle of your space. And we'll just start with that right foot. So you can come onto your right toes, lift your right heel, and then we're coming onto the top of the foot. So crunch the toes underneath and then roll to the outer edge of your foot, back to that heel, and then inner edge. So the inner edge is a little bit hard. You'll have to find that just as far as your foot, your rotation goes. Now we're back onto the tippy toes. Lift that heel, take it to the outer edge of your foot. The heel presses down. Now we roll to the inside of the foot. Reach back up and then the toes find the mat. Lift your heels. Slow lower your heel back down. This time lift into the toes, press into your heel. And then we'll stamp that foot back down. Spread the toes so that you can feel full surface area of that foot. See how far you can spread those toes apart. If you're wearing shoes all day, you'll notice that is more difficult. If you find yourself bare feet a lot, then you might have an easier time. But we'll let that go. And then we'll come on to the left foot. And same thing here, we'll start by pressing into that heel, rolling through the ball of the foot, finding the tippy toes lifting onto the heel. Now crunch the toes forward, roll onto the top of your foot. From the top of your foot, roll to the knife edge, outer edge, pinky edge. Drop it down. It's nice and slow. You just find the heel, lift the toes, and then roll onto the center side. And a couple of rounds like that, whichever ways feel most appropriate to you, or wherever you're finding the most sticky spots, you might linger there. Internal rotation of the ankle is difficult, so if you're hanging out there, it's worth spending the time. Stamp your left foot down and then again, spread all 5 toes, stamp them into the mat. Lift the toes, stamp them into the mat, spread them wide, find that foundation. All right, we're gonna get into our first movement. You'll take the right foot, take it to the front of your mat. So now you're kind of in this stance, maybe pyramid stance. The hips are squared to the front of your mat. Now, you can find your hands framing that foot. So you might need to bend that front knee, step your left foot back. We're just stepping into a low lunge. So if there's another way you want to get there, be my guest. Lower down your back knee. And then slide your right foot a little bit closer to your body than you normally would for a lunge. Not so far that you're kind of tucked underneath and already finding overextension. We are going to get there, but not yet. So press into the ball of that front foot. You want 90 degrees from your knee to your ankle. Now we're coming back into that formal lunge. You'll tuck those back toes, lift that back knee. Now hands come to your heart, and we're just going to keep the chest nice and strong here. So shoulders roll back. We have collarbones spread. Hands come together at your heart, wherever you like them. And then we'll start to just shift forward. We're bringing the knee over the toes, lifting the back heel. And yes, it's hard. And yes, this is a good place to have a neighbor or a bar. So we're lifting forward, shifting forward, pressing into the hips. Whew, pull back, pull out. You can even straighten out that front leg if you like. Give yourself a little break. A little balance challenge. Hands come back to your heart. Shift forward. Bend that front knee. Finding the tippy toes of your back foot. Keep lifting into that back heel and shifting forward onto the toes. Yes, the shakes are normal. The knees coming over the toes. Bring it back up. Whew. Press into that front foot. Lift the front toes, straighten the front leg. Last one on your right side. Bend that knee. Press into it. The knee comes over the toes. Hips have to sink down to get you there. Press, press, press. Hips lower and then up and back. Whew. All right. We're going to step the left foot up to meet your right. And we're just taking it opposite side. So the right foot comes back. Find your square hips. Bend that front knee. Hands come to your mat or framing that front foot in some way. Bump your back foot out. Set yourself up for that low lunge. Lower down your back knee so that you can really find the structural alignment that you need to do this without injuring yourself. Pull your ankle a little bit closer to your body. Find that 90-degree bend, knee to ankle. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Engage your lower belly. Now, pull your shoulder blades back. Press into your palms. Start to shift forward onto the back tippy toes. Lift that back heel, shift the knee forward and over. Hips drop down low. Exhale, breath, whew, shift back, straighten out that front knee. Lift the front toes. Inhale, breath, it's slow, forward and through. Hips drop down, find the knee over the toes, shift forward, and then send it up and back. Last one here. Yeah, I'm struggling too, so it's okay. Bend that front knee, sink in, hips go down, knee over the toes. Exhale, breath, press it back. Now, your right foot meets your left top of your mat. You got to use your core to get yourself there. And then find yourself in the middle of the mat. Now, we've got two options for this last movement. It is a challenge, and I'm going to be right here with you, I promise you that. But if you know for sure you start doing it and you're like, no way, then I want you to just take a regular yogi squat. So the toes will be out, the heels will be in. You'll come down low. It's nice and slow. You'll drop your bottom down and then you'll reach back up. And when you come back up, you'll turn the toes forward towards the front of your mat. So we're still working with the ankle mobility. We're still working in that joint. It's just nice and slow. So you'll lift onto the heels, turn the toes out, and then sink your bottom down. And you'll just repeat that. If you're coming with me, we'll find a little something different. This is a diamond squat. So the toes, I'll face this way. Toes come together. Your heels come together. Roll onto the knife edge of your feet. Now, yes, it's gonna feel funny, and that's kind of the purpose here. So we're gonna start to come down. The knees splay out. You come down, you drop your bottom down. Woo! Try to stay on the knife edge of those feet, and then press your way back up. All the way up, level it out. The feet come back together. Now, we'll take it step by step. Roll out to the outer edges. The heels stay together. The toes can really splay apart here. You just want to start with them together so that you can roll to the outer edge. Now, you're on the outer edge. Knees go out. Drop yourself down. It's slow. The bottom stays relatively high until you make your way all the way down and you find yourself in that low squat. And then press your way all the way back up. We've got one more together. Find your feet firmly on your mat. Take a moment, lift the heels, find tippy toes. And then exhale, breath, your heels drop down. Toes together, heels together. Roll your way to the outer edge of your feet. Notice my toes splay apart. It's totally fine. And actually, you need the toes apart to be able to drop down. Hands come to your heart. That lower belly's engaged. This is where you can find also something to your side, a partner, a bar. Lower yourself down. Nice and slow, the bottom drops down. Find yourself all the way down, the feet kind of plant, and then you roll back to the outer edge, press your way up. Rise to a stand. You can shake out the feet. Maybe you take a few more rounds on your own. Otherwise, we've got day 5 coming for you tomorrow, the final day of this challenge. And I invite you to just weave these into your movement practices as you go. So if you know that's you're gonna be working in a lunge or something in your workout for the day, then maybe you put in this routine as your warm-up, something like that. Or maybe you just find it before you go biking, before you go climbing, anything, everything, it all works. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you tomorrow.